All right. So we just wrapped up the second race. One more to go. Looks like our drivers are getting everything ready, and we should have our third race kicking off here in just a few seconds. As we get that settled, Ian, give us a quick recap. What did you see out there? What stood out? What to expect for this last race?
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that, as we all are, that everybody's between things. They're going to get themselves. They stay pretty bunched up at the beginning, and they can stay closer to there. They can be a little bit more disciplined. I think that's the big thing. Try and actually be more thoughtful about how they make a pass and how they can manage the car in a better shape. I think generally everybody's learning a lot here. We all knew when we tried to pick tracks, we were going to throw a track in here that was going to be difficult, and it's proved that. So probably everybody will say, "Oh, we shouldn't. That's too difficult." But it's a learning process, isn't it? Here's one of the more difficult tracks that you go on around the world. It's uh, so let's see. Let's look forward to the start of the next one. Um, okay.
Looks like we have, is that Pablo?
That's it. So we've got Pablo. Pablo's one of our race team technicians. He's in one of the sims in our race shop, which he's sort of become a technician on a simulator as well as a real car. And the bonus is that he can now actually try and race it. We haven't quite let him loose in a real one, but we'll see how he gets on with the simulator.
It's a good area to practice. Get your bearings right.
And I think it helps. We know, for instance, in Scott Cowan out of Scotland, he's learning and he's coming out as a data engineer, much like Ben is, a few years behind that. So, I think people like Scott are not just looking to be race drivers. And I think that's the key that I see in simulation today. It's not just about who can go and race cars. It's where we find data people and travel people. So here we go. Now we're starting race 3. So here we go. This is
Yeah.
good. Looks like everybody got through pretty clean by the look of it. All right, a little bit on the second corner, but the first corner was good. So we're in on Mason, Canadian. He's out in front. The white Transformer Pro-Am car. His teammate was doing a good job, Don Este, in the other 2 races. And he's pulled out a pretty good chunk. And just for those of you know, I mean, Nelson hadn't been in the first 2 rounds. He had a couple of issues getting online because he's in Toronto. But he's probably one of the few who knows this track for real. So be interested to see how our pro guy gets on here.
Definitely. See here, the white Transformer car is taking a nice lead there.
Yeah, I think he probably used his experience in real time there to get through turn 1. In my experience is a lot of people have had trouble in turn 1. Over the years, you could see, always you said to your drivers, get through the first corner. No matter where you end up, just get through it. And it's tricky in the pack here because it's blind. Sometimes you don't see the cars right in front of you because there's a lot of dust. So again here, we've got the drain car, a little bit of budging here. We can see a bit of history developing with the stem car. And I think, to check, I think Brandon's in that one. They've had some good competition. They're learning each other's styles. Nice view there. Nice view of everybody, coming down Hawthorne Hill. They're coming around the back here, coming into Surtees, named after an extremely world champion in motorbikes and cars. One of the very few, I think only 2 people have ever done it. Actually going into Hawthorne in a minute, Mike Hawthorne, bike racer and a car racer and the builder of Formula One cars.
You can see them still in a pack there.
Yeah, I think we've seen Alessio do another shift in cars. Nice view again of the Zotac car with coming into the last corner up now. Whoa.
Whoa, the all-drain car there made a quick move
Quick
around.
change of direction, you know. But again, looking at the draft, we've got 8 cars, all pretty well able to, even the back car, not far out of distance of the lead car. So they're all doing a good job. They're all staying on track.
Absolutely. And as we said, everyone's just applying the learnings and trying to get better. Hopefully you come out of this race 3 feeling a lot more confident than you did in race 1. Like we're in lap 2. This is 3rd place. It's Ben in the Transformer car.
Yeah, Ben will be working his way through the field, much like he had to do in the last race. Got caught up in a little bit of the mayhem on the first corner. Importantly, he missed it. A lot of it kept clean. Quite a difficult corner to explain this, as you see. When you're in these cars, the track doesn't just fall away in front of you down, it also falls off to the left. So you get 2 problems coming out of that corner. And you've arrived at the corner going uphill. So you have to know in your mind where the car is, much differently to actually how the car really, how you visually see it. So you must have a lot of confidence.
We go 11th place.
This is probably Caesar, I think, in the black and gold car. Again, very little experience in this type of thing. Car enthusiast, watches races, wanted to get in the opportunity to come into this. And, I think the nice thing is it's opened up conversations in the community that we have with other people, and that's the great thing from this.
Absolutely. Democratizing esports and bringing others in.
I think now we look at it, we've been on car with him a few times in the other 2 races, and he learns, which is great. He's taking some good lines. He's carrying good speed through the corners. He's not worrying about where he is, who he's racing against. And I think these are all the things that everybody's taking from it. So the big thing, as I say, for me, we're doing private coaching in a public, and that's sometimes pretty intimidating for a lot of people. But it's great. We've got all the companies that are involved that have actually supported this and are actually getting exposure, and they're actually prepared to come in behind people who are learning and follow this through.
Absolutely. Here we can see the Transformer car coming up on, I think that's the STEM car in front of him.
Yeah, I mean, we go back to a little bit about what we'd said earlier about Scott, and Brandon and guys that are coming through SAE, people who are learning and want to be data engineers. Caesar did actually come to a race at COTA at the Formula One track and help us with some of our customer cars, and was able to relate some of that things he looked at to actually really getting involved and seeing how the real world worked, and that's what we're looking at. Where do we find, not so much where's the next driver, but where's the next data person, where's the next really good mechanical technician, where do we get tire guys from, where do we get somebody who's interested in PR and media. We mentioned it in the last. When you're traveling around media, much the same as Barbara does for us, and Simon's following everything through in sponsorship coordination. We have a lot of different jobs that are in motorsport, and just getting involved a little bit and talking to people doing different things are what this is about. We're meeting people that we perhaps would never meet other than doing this.
Absolutely. See the former car. Great shots.
Yeah, this is Pablo. So Pablo's running. Again, I think he's doing a good job. He's.
We have the America car. Bit aggressive on the turns, but staying on the track. Great.
I think the Joel and Jeff, who are driving the American team, again, as we've said, have had really no experience to do this at all. And now you can have a discussion after they've done this, and they'll be a little frustrated about certain things, but we'll be able to talk to them, but they can relate now to what you have to do rather than not having any idea in their head about what it's like. Now they can say, yeah, I understand how that happened. Oh, okay, so I now should be doing this. And that's what this is about. This is about bringing this group of people up, these 15, 16 drivers, guys that have actually won, one guy that's won real races in his life all around the world, and coaches, data guys that understand the cars really well, all the way down, to people who have really wanted to try and do this, and now they can do it. And I think this is the encouraging thing from it. So we got, really got here. Ben running in second place with, just got hit. Hopefully he's recovered a little bit from that, and not too much damage. But these three races have certainly brought out all the things we talked about how you discipline yourself, how you've got to be very careful not to be aggressive, but to actually try and and manage the car. So you got a lot of power, a lot of grip, and a track that can really catch you out. So in the second round, we've thrown everything at everybody, and it's going to give them a lot to talk about after it.
Absolutely. We have the STEM car in fifth place.
Yeah, I think they're running fifth and sixth, so they're working. Scott and Zach are working together here. I think they'll be able to learn a little bit, before the next round of Watkins Glen. A little bit in there at Stem's back garden. We'll be up there in New York State. Great track, been around for many years. Much like Brands Hatch, used to run Formula One races. Unfortunately, just the way it is, the cars became way too fast for the track, but there was a lot of investment about 3 years ago. They resurfaced it, and Indy cars still go there, NASCAR use it, sports cars use it. Great facility, a lot of history.
Yeah, here we have the STEM car coming up on the all-drain car.
I think everybody's learning a little bit of patience through that. Well, I was going to say great overtaking maneuver, but yeah, that's definitely what we call last of the late breakers, and they learn from that in the real world. But opportunities to try and break on the outside. Maybe we get a rear view shot of this.
Oh, wow. Here we have the American car in 14th place.
I think Don nearly tripped Don Esther over in the white Transformer car there. He managed to just get on the brakes a little bit before that collected him. Don's running in third place as well, which is, some of these are the things that the discipline of understanding you're not racing with somebody, that maybe somebody's coming to lap you and you need to give them space to get by without interfering with their race. And when you're in big, long races, anything over really an hour, you're going to get this happen in lots of positions. You have to manage your racing position. You get different classes. Here we've got cars that are all pretty well matched. But often you race in classes where there's 3 different groups, and some cars are way quicker than others. So, these are all the things that more and more experience, staying at this, no matter how many mistakes you might make, you've just got to keep at it and learn from it.
Speaking of learning, we see the white Transformer car coming up on the STEM car, trying to get the position here.
Managed, just. And this one's running in third place as Donna Stay running in. Whoa. Now, it's possible that he got taken out a little bit there. This is Mason and Ben. Now, there was an incident there which we need to look at. Okay.
Here's Alicio in the black and gold car.
We're riding with Mason at the moment. Coming up on the start finish. Yeah, it's a nice racing line. Just used a bit of the curb. Comes in tight here. Exit out. Carrying quite a lot of speed, which is good.
Really clean line.
This is a nice line. This, very nice racing lines.
Here we are in lap 12. Just a few more to go. It's good to see. Good to see some clean racing out there. Here's the STEM car.
This is Scott at the moment, and he's been doing a reasonably good job, I think, here. Again, this, as I say, he's a young data guy. He's on a sim in Scotland, so it's good to see him get out here with this. And I think at the beginning he did a great job in Road America. Probably found it a little more tricky here, but I think in this event, as you can see there, it's just really learning from the laps and the events that you do here. But these look pretty clean laps.
Absolutely. We've got the black and gold car in 7th position. Two more laps to go, so it could things could really shake up here.
The Zotac car.
The Zotac car. Absolutely. 8th place. Right in the middle.
Yeah, so we can perhaps take advantage here of a little bit of, not using the mirrors. I mean, you can see from this sort of shot there that, as there was trying to be a pass there wasn't a lot of space given. And again, if they don't hit each other, these guys are having a race, so they're enjoying themselves, which is good. You have to enjoy what you're doing, and it'd be smart here to just sit back here and not get tangled up with those two. He'd like to obviously get by, but he's got to really pick his moment here. Both of them will probably find themselves in a difficult place. And he might just better get close enough to...
About patience.
Yeah. So I think we're back on with Brandon here. This is second place Nelson, right. Yeah.
Lapping a few folks.
Tricky. Yeah. He's got to pick his moment here, otherwise he's going to... Yeah. The guys are... Yeah, they'll have to... couple of lessons in just paying attention to what's going on, and, but it's a lot of pressure. So if you've not done this before, this is a hard track to keep an eye on everything. Watch who's behind you, where you're going. Is it a car that's going to pass me? Is it somebody I was running with? You've got to make all these different decisions.
Absolutely. Here we've got Ben here and on his last lap. Transformer car holds first place.
You've got the Viva car here now. It must be coming up on its last lap as well. I think he's happy he's got a nice open track. He's been running most of the time with a lot of other people very close to him.
Absolutely. Here we go. Is this Pablo here? The other Transformer car. Oh, actually, that was Ben. Ben, who just finished in first place.
Ben, so that's finished. Ben's won that one. Let's finish that. And then we should have Mason coming up second.
Here we have the STEM car. Coming in, looks like in fourth place.
I think Don Este was third. I think we had him. Don had a good clean run. He didn't get involved with too much, so he was doing quite well. And the STEM car here. Okay.
We have the all-drain car. See, everyone's starting to finish up here. Aldrin car and seems to be sixth position. There's the Viva car in 10th place. The Aldrin car passing the American car. Right to the finish, you know?
Oh yeah, he was. He's learning a few things, which is good. So I mean, yeah.
I think the Aldrin car just found its opportunity.
Being consistent. Yeah, I think the rest of them are now coming up, aren't they? They're all the league guys have finished the line. That's good.
All right. So as things wrap up, would Ian, what'd you think of the last race?
Yeah, I mean, I think we saw the whole nature of the race change from the second one. I think there's still a lot of the pace was definitely better. You could see everybody going much quicker. Um, there was more. There's still a lot of people going off track, not managing the grip well enough, but there was also a bigger amount of car contact. So it means there was the mindset of everybody was I'm now going to race more. So I think they learned a little bit about the grip, but now they've got to learn more about how you pass people and how you manage your ability to overtake. I mean, we saw a few instances where that needs to be managed much better. So, but again, we had everybody much closer. I think nobody went down below one lap, which was very, very good. I think we got everybody eventually across the line. So yeah, I think from that point of view, there was progress. There'll be a bit more homework to do after this one.
Definitely. I think, we saw things over the course change up, right? As we experienced in week one, drivers were definitely improving over time, but you can tell that this track was a bit different, where some of the conditions and elements changed as drivers were getting comfortable, and the back of the pack kind of started competing with the middle and the front of the pack. So overall, it was exciting to see how things unfolded today.
Yeah, and again, you're looking get good coverage of all the cars. Everybody sees the variety of cars that are there, and how different people are reacting and responding to the pressure of racing.
Definitely. And so, going into that, I think it's great to see all of our drivers out there kind of get acclimated, learn the track conditions. We saw Ben, who was, he was in the lead for quite some time, and we got to see his simulator at the beginning of our show. We're excited to bring him in and just see some more and talk to him a little bit about what he thought about the race. As we get him kind of chimed in, well, what are your thoughts just overall on what you saw and how Ben was a condition, how he was improving over time?
Yeah, I think as I said, I mean Ben's taken a few. His lines are good. He had a couple of starts where he got boxed at the beginning. So when I talk to him, we'll just see. He didn't have Mason in there the first two races. Um, so really, once he got clear and he could drive to win, which is what you want to try and do. So
Awesome. So let's bring in Ben. Hey Ben, can you hear us?
Hey, how's it going? I can hear you. Can you hear me?
We
yeah,
can.
good. All
You
right, Ben.
can?
Good.
There's Ben.
Anyway, yeah, there's three races done. So I really wanted to just, as you know, what we're going to try and do in the weeks is bring different people on board. So Ben is Dawson Racing's data engineer. Ben also an experienced simulator racer and does track work. So those of you who are watching, Ben's just going to give us a run through of the three races. To me, it looked, got caught a little bit at the bidding in a little bit of mayhem into turn one. My experience of brands has always been turn one is a nightmare to most people. You've got to get through it, and if you can get through it clean, you're usually okay. If you're not, you've really got to be careful how you overtake people on this track. It's really can catch you out. So, how did you find it?
Yeah, I mean that's 100% correct. Turn one, particularly on the outside going into it's a bit bumpy, and with the way the radical is, if you get wide out there, it's gone. You're not going to save it. Especially when you're trying to fit 15 cars through it. And we had turn one, I just kind of always made sure that like, the gap to the car in front of me was good. I had a little bit of leeway, and I could kind of play around with where I wanted to be. Um, Fortunately, it was all right. The second race, we. We saw in the Discord it was a very quick launch for us, so a lot of us were still hopping in our seats as the cars were taking the grid. So that was a little bit of chaos there, and I had the car in front of me not start, so that was a bit interesting. And then it took a little bit of time for the nerves to kind of dial down and everyone to find their pace. But yeah, I mean, turn one at Brands Hatch, it's huge. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to explain to people, Ben, the difference between a place like Elkhart Lake and Brands Hatch, and a lot of people said, "Oh, why go Brands?" But my experience of being at Brands with cars, it's an unbelievably challenging track, and turn one is three things. One is you arrive at it on a rise going up. You then have a car that then becomes quite light at the front, and it then drops away from you, and then it also falls to the left. So you have a whole manner of things going on there that you don't see things. So you've got to really have a lot of confidence with the car.
It. Yep. Go ahead. The turn one is very
Yeah.
fast.
So
And go ahead.
just Ben, in you being in the sim, tell us a little bit about how that experience is. And the car. How does that feedback feel being in the sim, in that Forza experience?
Well, I've ridden in the car. I've never driven this car. It has some of the same characteristics. The characteristics are the same in that it's a rear heavy car with rear bias downforce, and so trying to get the front end to work can be a little bit tricky. It requires trail braking, but at the same time, it tries to kill you with trail braking. So you do have to be very careful with that. Without having my own hands behind the wheel, I can't say too much more, but it does have the characteristics, are in the right place a lot of the time.
Awesome. Yeah, it's cool to see how this in the sim you're getting all that feedback and you're getting that real time data that migrates into what that experience is in the real car.
I think it's nice for Ben to be able to look, as he just mentioned, a few things there. The fact, as an engineering, when you're looking at the characteristics of the car, and you can use that knowledge from the characteristics of the car, and then you're on the sim, you're actually seeing, and that's a great thing with simulators. They're so close to the real car, it is unbelievable, and Ben can relate to that exactly.
Awesome. Well, Ben, thanks for chiming in. congrats on the performance today, and look forward to seeing you next week.
Thank you.
Really cool stuff. That was exciting 3 races. I think we've, just like the drivers, we've learned a lot. We're starting to see how these guys are getting acclimated to things. Going into what's to come. I think it's only going to get better from here.
Yeah, no, I hope so. And, as we're seeing as well, just getting everybody together and getting groups, and we're learning as well as we put all this together, we try to have this whole cross section of people. So as we now talk to everybody during the course of the week about what can be done, how can you learn from it, what do we actually need to do? The next area for us as the administrators of the whole thing is to try and say, how do we show the progress that's been made during the week from going on live in this way? So let's work away at that. And I think it was really good. Everybody had some fun, which is hopefully the right way, no matter whether they won it or they finished last. They learned from it and they can use that knowledge to move forward.
Absolutely. And, really great racing. Just give another shout out to our partners out there, STEM.org, who's done an amazing job bringing this all together for us. As we've mentioned, they're our presenting partner and sponsor for the D3eSports Cup Virtual Championship. They are the longest continually operating privately held STEM education, research, and credentiating organization in America since 2001, supporting the world's top brands, organizations, and thousands of global. So huge to STEM.org for everything that they do and for their continued, partnership with us. We're really excited about everything that's going on today. We're thrilled about what's to come, and I think that having a great partner such as STEM.org is just showing all the awesomeness that is behind esports and virtual racing.
No, I think as you say, Carlos, it's great. The companies that are here who have been able to relate what they're doing is exactly what we're trying to achieve.
Definitely. And so for our audience out there, thanks for tuning in to the races. Stay tuned for more. We'll be back with our pit talk. So we'll catch you in just a few.
No, the guy warned Seth that it's gonna look like no one lives here, but there are people there, and you don't want to fuck with them. Yeah. That's great right there. Alright, we got it. Alright, let's load it up.